everybody, welcome back. My name is Adrienne. We're going to have a really easy dinner tonight. If you guys have seen it, I went to Aldi the other day and we got my favorite salmon. We got a whole side of salmon. So it says this 2.19 pounds and it was $19. So we're going to have this, Brussels sprouts that we picked up. Those are for the microwave. And garlic knots I made the other day. I will refilm that one, as I've said before. So what I'm going to do is finish those up. So we're going to have salmon with Brussels sprouts and garlic knots for dinner. So let me bring you down to so where you can see what we're doing. Here's our salmon. Now, the cool thing about this is I turned the oven on to do the one thing that I needed to do. I took half a stick of butter and I put some garlic powder and parsley in there, melted it down. I brushed it over the garlic knots that I have. So these garlic knots are 80% done. So whenever I'm ready to cook those, I'll turn the oven back on. But what I've got to do first, we're actually going to cook the salmon in the air fryer. So I have my pans over here. I do have those on a piece of parchment paper just because I'm going to oil the back side of the skin. And I do not want the oil to be all over my counter. So what I like to do is put parchment paper underneath my racks. So I really hope you guys have had a great week. I think it'll be Saturday when this goes up. I did wash my cutting board very well. I'm using a knife that I'm able to use as my brother's. It is extremely sharp, but you have to use a wooden cutting board when you use it. All I'm doing is going through and picking off some of the scales from the skin. Now, this is there's for 4 of us. This is going to be for 2 meals. So what I'm going to do is actually fillet it for us. And then the rest I'll put in the freezer if I have enough. But just fillet it however the size you want. Just cut in gently. This is what I do. Now, like I said, there's 4 of us. And I will actually cook the tail part of this tail. I will cook it as well for our cat. So what I generally do is take this much and I will take his part off and lay it to the side. Actually, I think I'm going to cut, my son is home. I think we are going to do this whole thing tonight because I want to buy more next week. So I don't want to put any of this in the freezer tonight. But what you will see me do is leave my husband's portion. Actually, we won't need all of it. I will leave my husband's portion and I will cook it later. I'm just going to do 2 great big huge portions of this for my husband and my son. Because this will be all my mom and I eat. My husband is very particular and he has never been a salmon eater. I'm going to go ahead and cut these so they cook evenly. He has always said that he didn't care for it until he met me. And I cooked it this way. And now this is the only way that I cook salmon. I'm going to go ahead and do it into the fillets so that it cuts evenly. Because as I said, I'm using the air fryer. Now with the whole fillet, you can go in and put it in the oven. I do the same thing with seafood and fish as you guys see me do with everything else. I wash my hands consistently and constantly. Alright. So now that I have this part done, what I'm going to do is flip this over, skin side up. Now the one thing with the salmon, when you buy them in the big flats like that, when you turn them over, make sure all of the skin is untucked, because sometimes in order to put it in the container, they will tuck the skin under. It's the way it packages. Now what I'm going to do is take my oil. This is olive oil. I'm just going to spray this back side, and all this does is keeps it from getting stuck, and it will help crisp up the skin if you like to eat it. I'm not a crispy skin eater. The child is, and he is here. So I will definitely make sure that we get some of that skin crispy for him. You know, it's the little things. If it makes them happy, it makes me happy. All right. Let me get this on here, and I will get over here where you can see what I'm doing. All right, so what I have done, you should be able to hear, is I went ahead. Our air fryer is by the same company that makes the Instant Pot. So with that air fryer, it has things on it for us to preheat it. So you want to set your air fryer to 375 degrees. And I cooked this about 15 minutes. Now, I flip that up. I'm going to spray this side with oil. And then I'm going to take this butter, garlic, parsley mixture that I have left from my garlic knots, and I'm just going to brush it over the top. You don't have to do this. I just had it left over. I will tell you that if I would have, oh y'all, I shouldn't have put garlic on that. Cats cannot have garlic or onion, so I won't put any on this one, and that will be the cat's, and that'll give him a couple of meals off of that one. So anyways, what I would do is I only had this left over because normally I would put butter and garlic and everything on it anyways. Just not this particular way. But hey, if you want to do this, then go for it, because all it's going to do is make it taste really, really good. That butter and garlic's really going to go down in this salmon. Excellent. All right. So then what I'm going to do, so there's already garlic on there, so you're going to want salt, pepper, onion powder, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to get I know I've already got garlic powder on it, but there's just not that much. So I'm going to put our house seasoning on it, which has salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a tiny bit of turmeric. So that's already got the salt and pepper. I am going to put just a little more pepper on here. I like the little extra pepper on my fish. And then I don't have any lemon, but I have lime. So I'm going to put and sprinkle just a little bit of lime juice on these. You just need a little acidity. Now what I do also have, let me grab it, hold on. Well, I turned you off. So what I did was I put a little lemongrass on there. I like lemongrass, so bear with me one moment. I'm going to grab the dill. So I have a little bit of dill weed. And to me, oh, I know what I got. Hold on. I've got some fresh dill in the freezer. Or is it chives? I've got something down here. I got chives. And bay leaves and sage. I got chives down here. So alright, we gotta hurry up because our thing's ready. So I'm gonna put a little chives on here. I got the dill weed. I'm not going to put the chives on it. I'm going to put that back in the freezer. I'm going to pop these in my air fryer. Now, what it's going to do is when it reaches that halfway point, it's going to beep and tell me to turn my food over. What I will do then is just rotate my racks. I'm just going to move the racks because that is my air fryer. So it pulls down, and it's like an oven on the inside. It's actual air fryer oven. All right, guys. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab a pack of my Brussels sprouts from the other day. And I'm going to just put those in the microwave. I'm not actually going to turn those on until I flip that food over. I'm going to go ahead and warm up I'm going to turn the oven on, because all I want to do is turn it on 350 just to finish cooking those. So like I said, they're 80% cooked. So as soon as this warms up, I'm going to pop those in, finish cooking those, and then it's get that garlic butter on there. There's garlic in there. So that's pretty much going to be dinner. Super duper easy. It is very nutritious. It is absolutely delicious. And honestly, it may take 30 minutes, if that. So it's easily, hands down, one of our favorite meals. Now, you guys, hopefully I got it finished and you saw it. My son and I went to, actually, you know what? Let me put that in right here because I didn't get everything finished. So today, this morning, what we did was we got out. I had to go at 11 a.m. I went and met my goddaughter. Her wedding dress was in our closet. So I met her at the town over, and we had her appointment to have her fitting done. So we did that, and he and I went and did a few things. So you're going to see what we've done, and then I'll see you when that's over, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so it is halfway. I just flipped our trays around. Now I'm putting in the garlic knots that have garlic butter and parsley on the top. And then I just put those Brussels sprouts in for 6 minutes. That's all it takes. The whole bag goes in, you put them in a certain way. It tells you which way to put them in. And then that's how you cook them. And then once you're done, you'll take them out, put them in a bowl. I usually put a little bit of butter and salt and pepper. I usually put my house seasoning on them. So I'll show you what I do. It's really, really, really easy. Just get you a bowl that you want to put them in. I usually get a metal one just because it helps melt the butter and keeps everything warm. Gonna get me some of my butter. I keep a butter dish on my counter. I used to never keep a butter dish on my counter and keep room temperature butter. The butter dish one of my goddaughters gave me, and it was her mother's. My dear sweet friend passed away a couple years ago on Christmas. So it's hers. It's a Pioneer woman one, so it's very special to me. I have quite a few kitchen things that she had. She loved her kitchen. She loved to cook and bake and everything. So I do have a few of her things, and that's one of them. So now I keep butter out on my counter pretty much all the time. So I put a little bit of butter in my bowl, and then what I'll do is go ahead and put a little bit of my seasoning. It ends up being about a half of a teaspoon. I don't want a whole lot, but I want enough to be able to taste. And what we'll probably do tomorrow, tomorrow's going to be finger food day. Tomorrow is the ham and cheese sliders, the Scooby snacks, and that's something else. So I'm going to sit down later and figure out our finger foods for tomorrow. We're on finger foods tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Saturday. So we'll make finger foods tomorrow, and we'll go. I'll take you along that trip with me. And then Sunday, I'm going to do steak fingers. It's cube steak. I just cut it up. They call them steak fingers. I'll show you how I do those. So we got quite a few things going along. And I will be practicing this week. My goddaughter is getting married wants a cookie cake as a wedding cake. So my chocolate chip cookie recipe this weekend. Oh, and we got to do bread tomorrow. My chocolate chip cookie recipe, I'm going to make an attempt to make a solid cookie out of it. Because I got to start practicing cookie cakes. She wants 3 different kinds, which is perfect. So once I get one down and figure out how to work with it, I think I can work with the other ones because they're all similar. We're going to do chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, I believe. I can't even write it down. I believe it's oatmeal raisin and then peanut butter. But her fiance loves almond butter. So I'm going to attempt to do that. I would love to be able to surprise them with that. And then I'm dipping icings. I'm going to do a peanut butter, a regular, just things that'll go with those. So I thought that would be really good and really different since they're doing a cookie cake. Because I will have the icing in between, and I believe that icing is just going to be an old-fashioned icing and not something because they're going to be outside. Even though it's going to be April, it should still be okay. I'm not going to trust buttercream or cream cheese. So I will do an older whipped icing in between, I believe. So we're going to have several things we're working on. I'm working on a caramel sauce, working on butterscotch sauce, and working on a chocolate sauce. We'll have homemade whipped cream and a couple of things. So I'm working on it. It's going to be a thing, but it's great. I don't think she could have picked a better wedding dress. It doesn't really have to have a whole lot done to it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait for her fiance to see it on their wedding day. So they're going to be super excited. So they're going to be over here sometime this weekend for them to check out the cookie once I get it done and talk wedding. So we've got a lot going on, you and I do. So anyways, when we were out today, I got what we didn't get the other day at Aldi. I picked up, because we are going to have tacos one day. My husband had asked for them. And the particular recipe that we saw, the tacos are on a fry bread, but she uses a thin cut of beef. So I went and got this today. It's a bottom round thin. I just needed a really thin beef. So I'm going to use this. I got some guacamole. And then I got some of that white queso cheese to go in there. So we're going to do that maybe tomorrow. I think that's what I was going to do with the ham and cheese sliders. Salmon is dinging right now. So let me run grab it. I'll show you what it looks like. Let me grab and the microwave just went off. So actually before I go grab the salmon, I'm going to leave it in there. I'm going to grab our Brussels sprouts really quick. Now, I always try to put my bag and hold it over, because if anything dribbles, it's just steam water from the inside of your bag. The Aldi bags don't generally do that because they're a thicker bag. They almost feel like the name brand thicker bag. One of the other ones that we get loves to dribble on me all the time. So this is all I do. What I do once I put them in is I just start shaking them and tossing them in there. And you can see how that butter and all of that gets down in there. And then I'm going to leave you right here. I'm putting that there. Let me grab my pot holders right here, because these are extremely hot, just like I took it out of the oven or that fryer. So this is what they look like coming out of the air fryer. They are absolutely fantastic. Like I said, that's our favorite way to cook those. Now what I will do to reheat those when my husband gets home is I will take it and put it back on here and pop it back in the air fryer. So let me grab some plates. Alright, I have our plates. But the one thing that I want to do, because you guys know that our baby's going to get some of this, but it's not going to cool off near enough for him. So what I do is I pull his piece, because he doesn't need the whole thing. He's got 2 meals here, so I will take the rest of it, pull it apart, flake it off, let it cool, put it in a bowl, warm it up for tomorrow, and give it to him. He gets salmon when we do. To me, it is not fair not to give him a piece of his own. And in order to cool this off, I stick it in the freezer. Just because I don't want to burn him. And he can't tell me if it's hot. So, I want to make sure I don't burn his little mouth. Because then he's just going to go meow, meow, meow. He can't tell me it's hot. Alright. Grab. And then for the man-child, I'm going to give him this piece. And then for the mama, I'm going to give her actually this piece, because she doesn't eat much. And then I'm going to take this one and give that one to my husband later. I'll warm it up for him. I do still have the bread in the oven. That should be ready in just a moment. I'm just going ahead and getting our Brussels sprouts on our plates. So I really hope that you guys, if you've not tried this, like I said, it is just super simple to make. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take a lot. You can serve this with anything on the side. We just prefer Brussels sprouts. For the 3 of us, we'll eat 1 bag. And then I will fix another bag when my husband gets home. And one of us will end up having just Brussels sprouts with him, because our family loves them that much. Especially the Aldi ones. We really enjoy those. They, like I said, you see them. They're smaller. They're not very big. And they just have the sweetest taste to them. And I don't understand why they taste like that. And it's not just theirs. Any of the other brands that have the smaller one. Because the bigger the Brussels sprout, they're not as sweet. And we do like the big ones too. I buy those. Cut those up and put them in our steamer. Oh my gosh. I think I've done that for you guys. If not, I need to. I'm going to go get us some. Because they're absolutely delicious in my steamer. I buy them raw, I buy them fresh. I may do that Wednesday when I go to Sam's and do our grocery shopping. I'll talk to my son, because if they don't have any there, Aldi does. And it's right across the street. Our Aldi is across a major highway from our Sam's. So they're right there together. Our Sam's, Walmart, there's a Kohl's over there, there's all kinds of stuff. And then across the street is the Aldi, in between a Starbucks and a gas station and all kinds of things. Our little town's not so little anymore. It has really, really grown up a lot. Because we have several grocery stores now. Alrighty. Let me see what our rolls are sitting at. When you cook these rolls, or when you bake them perfect, like I just did and I finished them, they are done between 200 and 210. These are at 207, so they are a perfect doneness. So there you go. By the time I started and I have finished, I have actually made dinner in 30 minutes, which is very rare. And not only is it done, but it's a very good dinner and it's tasty. So we've got the air fried salmon, the Brussels sprouts, and the garlic knot. So guys, I know this is a shorter video for me, but thank you so much for just bearing with me and looking at my hodgepodge of things that we've done today. I hope you guys have a great day. Like I said, we've got a lot of things coming up. You may or may not get a video tomorrow. I'm trying to get everything done. Like I said, I did have a bread video made that was not good, so I had to just delete it. So we're going to remake bread. We're going to do that tomorrow. So have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your neighbor. I'll see you next time.